Hello everybody. This afternoon I'm making something that might interest you. It's actually one of the Passionate Penny Pincher recipes, but I'm going to make it with ingredients that are not on her list of things. If this is something that interests you, stay tuned. It's a Philly cheesesteak sloppy joe. I made them once last summer. They came out delicious. I did a few tweaks to the recipe, but you don't even have to. Her recipe is delicious. So you can see she serves it like a sloppy joe on a toasted bun with chips. I, of course, melted cheese on mine because that's how I like a Philly cheesesteak. Doesn't it usually have cheese on top? So I'm going to start mine with 1 pound of grass-fed 85% lean beef, and I'm going to saute it up in that pan while I get to chopping my vegetables. So I thought I would just tell you how I start it and what I start it with. So I've used 1 pound of beef. It calls for 2 tablespoons of butter, which are in that pan. 1/2, this is her recipe, and I'll do my recipe the way I do it. 1/2 of a yellow onion, I'm using a whole onion. 1 bell pepper, I'm using 1 1/2 bell peppers because I want 3 colored peppers. 8 ounces of mushrooms chopped up, 2 tablespoons of ketchup, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, and then in this right here I have a cup of beef broth with 1 tablespoon of cornstarch in it, and that's going to be at the end to thicken it. So I'm going to pause you, get that meat going, and I'll be back. So I have the meat going in the pan over there, and I'm going to start chopping and dropping and talking to you at the same time. So I made this, like I said, last summer, and when I saw the recipe it was pretty inspiring because I like, again, everything in it. So I'm going to do mine with 1/2 of a red pepper, 1/2 a yellow pepper, and 1/2 a green pepper. Again, her recipe just said 1 bell pepper. Use what you have in the house, and this is what I have in the house. So I thought, why not? I'm also over there cooking rice, so I might have mine not on a roll. I might just have it on a 1/4 cup of rice, and I want to saute up a zucchini for myself. So this is like going to be the main course for me, is going to be the sloppy joe mix. And I don't think I'll serve it. I could serve it on a David's Killer roll, but I had a slice of David's Killer bread for breakfast, so I might not have that much carb for dinner. I don't know. I'll see how the day goes. I haven't even had lunch yet. I'm preparing this for dinner because I love it, and I know my son is coming today, so he will love it. And I also started a homemade beef stock. I can't urge you guys enough to make your own stocks if you can, if you have the room in your freezers to save them. But I did, as you know, for Christmas we had a filet mignon and all the ends of it. So you can see I have red, green, and yellow pepper. And I don't know if her recipe had cloves of garlic, but mine has garlic. That's going in, and I'm going to do a whole onion. So yeah, we had a whole filet mignon, and there's some parts of it, the ends, there's some fat you cut off, all of that. I put it in a Ziploc bag. If I had a bone from a prime rib, I would have done that, put it in a Ziploc bag, and I froze it. So today, I make white rice and homemade beef stock for my husband. He loves it, and it comes out delicious. I put, the way you've seen me do soups in the past, I'm chopping up my garlic. I put a whole onion, but I just cut it in half. I put a whole stalk of celery, which I cut in thirds. The reason I cut it in half and thirds, because at the end I'm going to fish them out. I don't put a carrot because he doesn't love carrots in his broth. I put some fresh garlic, onion powder, beef stock on top of that. I mean, I can make my own from scratch, but I had this only needed a cup. So I took the rest of that and used it to make his broth with beef. So later on I'll fish out all the beef, all the pieces that were on the ends, the fat, all the things that are going to make the gravy or the stock delicious. And he'll have that. He likes beef broth on white rice. So we're going to have white rice, and I took out hamburger buns. If my son wants to have it as a sloppy joe, I'll grill some buns. God, I wish it was summertime and my Blackstone was in action, because this was a great meal. That's when I made it, was on the Blackstone. So now I'm just cutting up an onion. There's nothing too exciting here. Peppers, onion, garlic. The beef is browning, and I'm trying not to look at it yet because I really want caramelization, and I'm going to move you over into the food when I get done doing all the chopping. I haven't cut these mushrooms up yet. They're coming next. It's really super flavorful. My neighbor was here. Her name is Joel. and I gave him one of the sandwiches last summer, and he loved it. He went home and told me it was delicious. So I thought they were delicious, so I'm making it again. So Passionate Penny Pincher, I've talked about her a lot. Got meal plans. This one's from the One Pot series. I'm going to move you over for a second. You can see me, I hope. So it's browning up. You want it to get nice and caramelized. I'm going to season this right now with some goodies. I don't even know if the salt and pepper were on hers, but it's going to be on mine. Salt and pepper and onion powder. And I want it to get really caramelized before I add in those vegetables. So my white rice is cooking, the broth is cooking, and now this is cooking. But that was just salt, pepper, and onion powder. Okay, mushrooms. So would this be something? Would this be something you would eat? I mean, everything in it is fresh, and the One Pot series means you can cook anything in her series in one pot, which I love. Anything sheet pan, one pot cooking. It just makes life easy. I have picked up my little 4-year-old grandson today. We like to take him out of preschool once a week, and he spends the morning, but I didn't get him as early as I wanted to today. And he takes a really good nap, gets his rest. Preschool's tough. He's only 4. And when he's 4 and it's a long day, my son works long hours, it's like we give him a break coming over. And plus we love seeing him. I mean, he's the happiest little guy ever. So he's taking a nap. That's why I'm talking not so loud. And I'm making us dinner till when he wakes up. And I might make some sugar-free brownies. I know I said anti-sugar-free, but I need snacks, so I gotta see what I have. Haven't decided, but I'll make a dessert of some sort. And then we're gonna see how this pans out in a few minutes. It does say in her recipe, I just read, 8 slices of provolone cheese, but this is her photo and I don't see any cheese. I put Swiss cheese on mine because that's what I like. But provolone works, mozzarella works, whatever you have works. So, what do you think? Sound like a good plan? I'm still chopping. Sorry guys. I should have probably chopped everything up before talking to you, but I thought the meat would brown, which it is. And now the mushrooms, peppers, and onions are going to go in next. And then I'll try to get you over in the food. So, they're done. I'm going to toss this up with my chopper first. It's definitely brown, but I want to get that mixed around. And I'm going to move you. So yeah, yesterday I scrubbed this whole kitchen. Today I'm making a disaster. That's how I roll, I guess. Okay. In goes the veggies, and then I'll move this camera. These little portable cutting boards, if you don't have one, you need one. I'll be back. So I have you a little closer. I'm trying to get the vegetables to soften. I just put them on top of the meat. You have mushrooms, onions, all 3 colored peppers, and now I'm going to give it a stir, and then I'm going to put the lid on because the lid will keep the heat in and get everything to start to soften and get translucent. And we want this to come down before we put in the rest of the ingredients, and I will go over all of those with you. This is a delicious recipe. Now that I'm looking at it, I like it plain, like without any bread, because that's how I eat these days. But it's great on bread too. But you can double it. You could make it a bigger recipe. My rice is cooking right here, and beef broth is cooking right there. I mean, this kitchen's going. And there goes my clean kitchen. I'll be back. Okay everyone, so it's ready to have a little bit more seasoning. Things are starting to be just about cooked. I'm gonna put the ketchup, the soy sauce, and a little splash of Worcestershire I add because I think that goes in a Philly cheesesteak in my world. So she says 2 tablespoons. I'm gonna judge what I think I like. So I put probably 2 or 3 tablespoons because I just spread it out. 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. I love Le Choy. I'm not picky. I do eat the other ones too, but we love soy sauce, so I'm not going to be shy with that either. And then I'm going to do a couple of shakes of Worcestershire sauce. The rice is cooked. I don't know, maybe a teaspoon. And now I'm going to stir that around, which is going to give all of this a lot of flavor. I hope you can see it. It's really a delicious meal. And then I'm going to put the lid back on because those peppers are still kind of hard. So when I put the lid back on, I'm going to get them softened, and then I'm going to add that beef slurry, and it's done. And it's ready to go on rolls, or it could go in your mouth. It can go on the rice. It could go wherever you want to put it. So what do you think? Melt cheese on top. I mean, I would do the whole thing with cheese and stop right there. It's delicious. So we'll be back. Here we go, guys. It is looking and smelling absolutely delicious in here. And I'm going to add this slurry, which is a cup of beef broth and 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, and let the magic happen. It's absolutely delicious. I hope that you try this. I hope that it works out for your family the way it's going to work out for mine. Are you able to see in that food? That's my hope. Let's see. I'm going to move you into it. Let it thicken up. I got to do it with 2 hands or stir, one or the other. So, that is what we're looking for. So that is called a Philly cheesesteak sloppy Joe mix. Would you try it? What do you think? I think it's going to be scrumptious. What's in it? If you don't like mushrooms, I wouldn't put them in. If you don't like certain peppers, I have a friend that does not like, she doesn't like peppers. So I don't know what. So on a Philly cheesesteak, I don't know, make it with what you like. I would have put zucchini right in this, and that wouldn't have bothered me. Like, I add my vegetables in anywhere I can. So this is loaded with protein and veggies right now. It only has 1 tablespoon of cornstarch as a thickener. So it's actually all, ketchup can be sugar-free if you want to go all the way sugar-free. But she's done. She's delicious and bubbling away. So that is called Philly cheesesteak sloppy joes. That's the picture without the cheese. And I will read her recipe. Which recipe do you want, hers or mine? It's basically, like I said, I look at a recipe and I get inspired. I'm going to turn mine off. 1 pound of ground beef, 2 tablespoons of butter, a half of a yellow onion. I used a whole onion. 1 small green pepper. I used 1.5 peppers, 3 different colors. 8 ounces of mushrooms. This says Bella mushrooms. I had white mushrooms. 2 tablespoons of ketchup, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, a cup of beef broth. It says 8 brioche buns for the end. It should make 8 sandwiches, 8 pieces of provolone cheese. So you grill your sandwich if you want it on a sandwich, and you would melt your cheese, and it's a delicious sloppy joe. I am going to either have it a little bit on this rice or just have it in a bowl. I mean, I'm not that, I might do my zucchini and this and a little rice, and then that's a whole dinner for me. So hope you make it. Hope it inspires you. It's a passionate penny pincher recipe. I put some Worcestershire in mine. You saw what I put in. And I put some onion powder. I think that might be my only addition. I'll go back and look. But that's the recipe, and I hope you try it. Have a great day. Bye.